Yes, sir. We are officially live. What it does, fellas.
Living good, man. Beautiful
Feeling good,
Monday, bro.
man.
Can't
It's Monday,
complain.
man. It's Monday, another week, man. It's crazy that Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Like literally,
Uh,
it's gonna be right there.
I think we've been through. Is this going to be the third Thanksgiving that we were doing Manifest Monday? I
Yeah,
honestly feel like just the time that we started, I think this is the third Thanksgiving over.
It might be. It
Uh,
might be something.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because what 52 weeks?
I think he
Like
was
2
moving.
years.
I think he was
Yeah.
moving to New York around that time.
I think
That
so.
first one.
Yep. I moved to New York like literally like I think a week before Thanksgiving. It
I think
was
that
like
was
a
like
week
when he
or
was first
yeah.
starting
Yeah.
because he was definitely in Virginia.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
saying on here, but cool, man. We're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. This is episode 104 of Manifest Mondays. And we got my man in the building, Diamond Grant, my guy, DJ Zenas,
Present.
and your boy, Ramon.
The
And we
present.
are the Spot Network, man. We've been at this thing for 104 weeks, like we just was saying. I think this is the third Thanksgiving where we've been around that time that we've been on here, man, approaching that time. So that's insane to think about. But today we got a really, really dope topic, and especially for anybody who's ambitious and just like my go-getters and you know what I mean, my ones that's really getting it, and you know what I mean, however you want to put it, getting to the bag, getting to the money, getting to the chicken, you know what I mean? Leveling up, man, hustle, grind, all that, you know what I mean? The rise and grind brothers out there and sisters, man. So but the topic that we want to talk to today, because all of us that move like that are usually always on the move. So what we want to talk about today is the concept of enough is never enough. I think the real saying that everybody says is enough, but this one we wanted to say enough is never enough, right? And what we mean by that is when you're chasing something bigger than yourself, do you ever get to the point to say I'm good, or is the chase what you're actually after, man? So for you guys personally, is there a point in your mind that you can think about like I'll get there and I'll be content, or how do you guys feel about that concept?
Oh man. What's that one song? Good and good enough. And your hood and hood enough. Bro, I think it's hard, bro, especially for us who are very ambitious. It's hard because there's no such thing as a pinnacle, right? Because I feel like once you get to a certain level, so for me personally, right? If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I feel like at this level where I'm at, I would have been, man, I made it. I'm so happy. But now that I'm here, I was like, bro, I can do more than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Mhm.
you reach to a certain point though, you know that you have so much more to give, and that just push you to do more. So yeah, you might reach to that point financially. You know what? I have enough money. You know, I don't need to like work as hard to get more money. But I believe for us who are very ambitious, we're gonna find another purpose that we're gonna like keep striving for, keep working towards. So it's never really gonna feel like it's enough. It's like we accomplish one thing and then we're gonna look for something else to solve. I think just who we are, that just give her, the desire to do more and just keep pushing, bro, to keep growing. Because at the end of the day, I think once you don't have that mindset no more, you become so complacent. There's nothing worth pursuing. So I don't know. I would say, nah, man, I don't think so. Yeah, you're gonna reach to a point, you can be like, you know what? I think I'm good in this field, I'm good in this realm, but is that something else I can do to like overall elevate myself? It might be physically, it might be mentally, but I think there's always gonna be that pursuit and that drive to want to do more and never feel like we ever reached the pinnacle.
Yeah.
All right.
I couldn't agree more. I think we talk about it all the time. I define myself as a very objective person. I always have to be working towards something in order to feel fulfilled or just feel like my life has some meaning, some purpose, some value to it. And I feel like if I'm not working towards something, I find myself in these moments of like, what the fuck am I doing? Like right, like
Right.
you know, what am I striving for? Like, if I'm just out here wandering aimlessly, then what am I really doing then? You know, right?
Right.
Like, if I don't feel like I have any direction. So I think about it like the stock market, or really like anything that's a worthy investment, right? Over time, you should think like you should have higher highs and higher lows, right? A good investment is typically that's how things work, right? You know, the only way that it typically the way that you come back down to zero, or like even below that, is if a crash happens, right? You know,
Right.
the whole idea is never like, we're never trying to crash out in life, right? You know, like we're never trying to go back to like where we all started. I think the goal is always to continue to like continuously move towards something better, right? You know, like I think it's not that you feel like your life is absent of something. It's just you feel like there's always room for improvement, right? You know, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of people I think a lot of people who don't have like very lofty, ambitious, almost like nearly impossible goals, right? I think they are fine with contentment. And there's nothing wrong with that, where it's just like, you know, like we made it here, we good, we don't have to strive for nothing else, right? You know, but for people who are very purposed and very driven, and like I said, really just ambitious like ourselves, it's just like, cool, like we reached this new peak, but we didn't come this far just to come this far, right? You know, like there's still just always something more on the horizon, right? You know, and so I'm not saying that you have to be chasing the dollar or like chasing a dollar amount, you know, right? Like I'm not trying to become a trillionaire, you know, like, right? Like that's not what I'm trying to do, but I am trying to just be a better version of myself every day. And that typically takes a lot of analysis, a lot of just pivoting, a lot of trying shit and just figuring it out. And I mean, the secret to life is nobody has it all figured out, right? You know, so like even the people who we deem as having it all, they still don't have it all, right? You know, and maybe they probably feel like they don't have it all, right? You know, like there's people like I don't know, you think of some of the most successful people, like the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musks and all them, like, do they feel like they probably have it all? They're probably close, but you still see them continuously working. You know, I think there's people who question like, why are y'all still like, what are you trying to do at this point, right? You've achieved everything that you could want to. You're worth $270 billion, fam. Like, what else do you have to do? And it's just like, well, it's not that I have to do it. It's just that I want to, right? You know, I just want to continuously figure things out, you know, right? And I think that's the thing about it is, we talk about it all the time. We're figure it out is right. It's just like, cool, I figured out this problem. Let me go figure out another solution to something, right? You know, like, and so, yeah, I think that's just what it takes in order to be great, and not settling for anything less is just something that we simply can't do.
Man, and you hit on a bunch, brother. Like I love that the higher highs and higher lows concept, because it just, I mean, that a chart is always moving though, right? And I just feel like for people that are movers, it's just hard to not be in motion. And everybody, I think whether we realize or not, everybody's in motion. But it's just like, we talked about this a lot. Z, is like, are you almost letting things happen to you? You letting the markets just push you down? Or are you like, you know what I mean? Like you said, if you're in the stock chart, are you making investments during this time, consolidating? Are you acquiring other companies? You know what I mean? Like, is the push down just really like a moment? You know what I mean? And I think for people like us, it's just like we always are going to want to do better. I think that's just part of our DNA. And when wanting to do better sometimes doesn't have like a monetary goal attached to it. It doesn't have a destination always attached to it. And that's why sometimes I've been even having the thing with myself. Sometimes it's hard to explain to other people exactly where I'm going. Because it's going to continue to change and move. The goalpost moves a little bit, man. But for some people, they hate that, and they feel like, you know, like they're chasing something that they'll never achieve and stuff like that. But for other people, the pursuit itself is the achievement.
Right.
You know, quickest story ever, and I think we might have talked about this before. I watched this podcast on the CEO that said he got everything that he wanted to do. He got all the money that he wanted to get. And in his mind, he said once he gets the money, he's just going to move to Spain, off the coast of Spain, and buy his dream house. Right. He said he did it, right? He did it. He reached his dream point. But it was probably like 2 months after that, and he was just like, I was just hanging out with the locals, having a beer every day. I realized that's not the it. That's not the it moment. I thought I did it all. I got the boat with the house in Spain and the, you know what I mean? I could all the money I can want. And he said that was the thing. I went, and he said he went back to go build another company after that because he realized that the most that he was getting out of life was when he was building towards something with purpose. And it resonated with me, like, right, the destination is not where you're going, it's the pursuit. It's the pursuit of it, man. And I think people that are going to keep building are always going to just keep in other people's eyes, maybe just moving forward. But you can't move forward if you're like, this is it. You know what I mean? But you guys, and we talked about it a little bit in another episode, is that counterproductive to like being content? Like, for someone that would say, like, are you content because you keep chasing for something? Are you ever good with yourself? How would you respond to that?
I mean, I would say you can be content, but you're not just content with mediocrity, right? Because I think it's all about growth mindset. I'm content with where I'm at right now, in the sense that I'm happy, right? Things stays away forever. I'll be okay. I'm not going to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm doing things to like elevate my life and push myself. And that story that you just mentioned, just something really resonated with me. It was more about, like you talk about, sometimes the destination is not what we always like look for, but the journey is amazing. And I'm just thinking for my personal life right now, one of my goals is that I want to have my own financial firm and all that stuff. The worst case scenario if I don't get there, but I feel like during the process, I'm learning a lot of different things along the way. Even though if I don't get to that end goal, I've still made a lot of progress and things that I can be able to like do in other areas of my life. So sometimes the journey is worth more, bro, because like you encounter a lot of challenges. You figure out ways to like solve problem. Sometimes you try things, it doesn't work out. You pivot, you try something else again, work out. And then during that process, you actually decide what you really enjoy. I feel like sometimes the reason why I like the journey sometimes too is like, I'm just thinking, because sometimes if you try something right away, if it blows up and then you get there, maybe you might not really know if you really enjoy that, because you never had any resistance along the way. You just try something that works so fast. But I feel like by you trying different things, sometimes if it doesn't work out, you actually long term you decide on what you really enjoy and what you really like. So I would say you can still be content in the pursuit, bro. But at the end of the day, you just want more. Because I would say, like, I'm content where I'm at in life, right? But at the end of the day, you can still be content and want more. Contentment to me is not like being okay, or I'm just gonna be okay with how everything is right now. I believe you can still be content, have gratitude, and still want more for your life and do things that are gonna elevate you to get more.
Yeah.
And that is like, I'm not stressed over the things that I don't have right now. It's not like, because if we were stressed over that, like, I need to get to this level to be happy, but it's not it. We're still happy. We're just pursuing things, So yeah, I'm content. I'm happy, but will I be happy if I get there? Yes. But am I happy right now? Yes. So that doesn't really dictate how I feel in the moment.
Yeah,
so that'll be my take if they ask me that question.
Z, can I ask you something on that same tip, man? Do you think that, like, do you ever think there's a level of like pursuing something to the point where what we're talking about now is our life is getting better as we're progressing, right?
Right.
Do you think there ever is a point where you keep progressing past the point of where your life is good? Like now it's just too stressful? I'm gonna start with Z here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Where it's like no longer good now, and it's just like
no
at this
longer
point
necessarily getting better. It's just in a way almost it could be considered almost worse. Like if you're taking on too much, if you're like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like over the course of the last years of our life, it's been getting continuously better, right? Do you think there could ever be a point where it's like, now hold up, man, we not only plateaued just what we're doing, we're still progressing, but the lifestyle or just the, you know what I mean, what we're doing is not necessarily getting more quality of, you know what I mean, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I think there could be like moments of that, right? But I don't know if that necessarily is like a permanent state or anything like that, because I think it's all about using your EQ, right? You know, like at this point, at this stage in life, and I would assume moving forward, right? We're only getting wiser. Tomorrow I'm going to be wiser than I am today. I know that if I get to a point where I find myself in a position where I'm just like overly stressed or feel like I'm overly burdened with something that does not apply to my life or doesn't feel like I'm like getting any meaning out of this, or you know, like I said, as we get older, you're typically subtracting things from your life, you know, right? Like you already know what it is that you want to do, as far as like you might add additional things that give your life purpose, but you're removing the things that don't, right? You know, like, and so I think as you continuously progress in whether you take on new tasks, open new businesses, you know, meet new friends, meet new people, you know, whatever it is that you feel like you need to do in order to continue to just find that purpose in yourself. I think the whole idea of it is just like we mentioned earlier in this episode, right? Is efficiency, right? You hope that at that point, like you've built systems, you know, like you've put the right people in place so that like as you do these things, you typically don't have to worry about those like unnecessary stresses, which is something we talk about all the time, right? Like I think as you elevate, especially monetarily, right? You no longer, like, convenience is a big thing, right? You don't have to like necessarily burden yourself with these. I don't need to be an accountant, bro. I can go and hire an accountant to do these certain things for me, right? I don't need to do my social media, right? I could hire a social media manager to do my social media, right? You know, as those things come along. So even though you might be taking on more, you're still managing your time, hopefully more efficiently than you probably would have, because A, you're wiser, and B, you have more resources typically, right? You know, like typically, I'm not saying that like that's always going to be the case,
Right.
but yeah, like I think there will be moments of that where it's just like, damn, I probably bit off a little bit more than I could chew right now, you know, right? But I think it's always about like that reassessment and just understanding, like you got to be real with yourself. Like, all right, now that I recognize that I'm bitten off a little bit more than I can chew, let me go and ask for help, right? You know, or let me go find help, like, you know, those types of things. You don't feel like you have to like carry all of that burden by yourself. Whereas I feel like a lot of times in that building stage, you feel like you're just taking on so much because you have to, you don't necessarily have the resources. You have to wear a bunch of different hats, right? Like entrepreneurs, you know, right? Like when they're first getting started, the reason why that life is so chaotic is because, fam, you got 23 different jobs, fam. Like, you know, so it's just like, damn, like, you know, right? But you would figure after like your 7th business, you would know that you don't have to wear 23 hats anymore, right? You know, like I would assume that by that time, you know, you should probably only have to wear like maybe like 4 hats, you know, at that point. And it's just like, all right, cool. Like I can put the right people in the place. You know, I got the means to do this and do that and not have to worry about those certain things. So yeah, I think that was a long about way of saying no, I don't think so. There may be moments of that, but like permanent states, like, nah, I think we're just getting smarter as we evolve. We're getting wiser, we're getting more efficient just over time. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just a long story short.
Great answer.
I mean, I would take a different take though. I would say yes, there's a possibility that you can reach to a point that you're progressing. It can be very chaotic, you know, because like over time, like I was just talking about economics, right? We learned this concept called the law of diminishing return, right? After times, you know, when stuff like, for example, like the good analogy is like this: for one slice of pizza, if you're hungry, a shit tastes good. The second one, it's not gonna be quite as good as the first one. But if you eat an entire box, the second box of pizza, 90 days, like it doesn't give you any utility. It doesn't give you any value per se. Because at the end of the day, now like you just like overeating, like, you know what I'm saying, you feel sick afterwards, right? So I think it reached to a certain level. Just overall, that analogy applied to life and business overall. You can reach to a certain point that things just become so chaotic. You don't have time. Yeah, you're the CEO, but before you used to like hang out with your family, you know, like you're more spontaneous, right? I can just call you, let's go play golf and do all these things. Now you acquire this, you know, status and all these things. Life is more stressful. Yeah, you're making progress, but other things around you, you don't really have your time back. Yeah, you can delegate and do those things, but you just have so much responsibility, you know, so much stress that comes with that. and it just kind of like compromise the quality of your life and the people around you to a certain level. Yeah, so that's kind of like my take on that too.
I mean, I agree. I think, but I think it all boils down to choice, right? Like you have the choice to do that, right? You know, like
Right.
as the CEO, like, you know, I understand that, like, look, I want to run this big business efficiently, you know, right? And if I recognize I don't like have any time for my family, you know, right? I think there's going to be seasons of that, right? You know, like I think we talk about that all the time. There's typically something that's like demanding more out of you than something else in life. Sometimes it's your career, sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's your personal well-being, your mental well-being, whatever the case may be, right? But I don't know, man. I feel like if you weren't doing that, right, you know, like it's the choice to take that on, right? You know, like,
Right.
and so is that adding more stress to your life? Absolutely. But like, I think you're typically taking on things that you want to, and that's ultimately like
Right.
giving yourself purpose. I know that I could go and do something else, right? You know, and I don't know. It's interesting because
Right, 'cause it comes with a price,
I do agree with like
right,
what you're saying. I
right.
do agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
comes with a price because you have a certain lifestyle, right? Because in
Yeah.
order for you to come back now, you gotta
Yeah.
like give away certain things, and you're still used to certain things. You know, it's kind of like hard to give away. And also, let's talk about also like financial investment, right? The more money, like, because I notice now when it comes to finances, I pay more attention to that because I think I'm investing more, so I'm a little more concerned about the market before now than when I had like $2,000 invested. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Even though it might not be at that level, right? You know, I still sleep at night, but the fact that things are like getting better now is like, oh shit, if the market crash, I have a lot to lose than before. You know what I'm saying? So all those things there, we're making progress, but like it comes with stress, it comes with other things. But I feel like you can reach to a certain level, you know, in which that it's more stress now. You're like, damn, like I miss those days. You know, I can be low key. Like for example, like a person who's rich, but now you're rich and famous. You can't even go to the grocery store no more. You're like, damn, like before I was rich, I was low key, I could just travel and do all these things. But now, wherever I go, those people want to be my fans.
Hey, you got your little cousin's birthday party and everybody running up to you instead of to him. It's just
You're
like
like,
a weird
damn,
thing.
like-
Like, damn, man, I just came to, you know, say what's up to little man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Because that's how a post that Chris Brown posted. I think he just went somewhere in the city, walking around the city with a mask on, whatever. He was like, I never get to do this in real life. You know, like, oh damn. I was like, that's interesting because I never think about it. Like, what's a bad thing about being, you know, rich and famous? But the fact that we can just go places, bro, low key, you know what I'm saying? Not have to worry about the freedom. So those, I don't know. When I
Chris
think
Brown
about
can't go certain places. He just
Right.
can't unless he
Absolutely.
rents it out, and then you don't get the real experience of being there. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
right. So
you know?
that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
I don't know, man, but like I feel like that's the grass is always going to be greener, though, right?
Right.
You know, like
I don't even know if
somebody
it's
like Chris-
greener. It's just different sometimes.
Yeah, it's just different. It's just different, right? Because like Chris Brown, when nobody knew him, like he would have probably traded anything to have the life that he has now, right? You know, where he's like, I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. I could take care of whoever I want, those types of things, right? You know, so like I said, it's just there's always those differences where it's just like, you know, when we broke and don't have nothing, we're always hoping for those moments where it's just like, damn, I can't wait to be wealthy and, you know, be able to buy my mom a crib and all that stuff. But then when you can do that, I think that's only really attached like when fame comes with it, though. You know, that's why I always say like the perfect medium is, and that's why I say it all the time. I want to be successful, but I don't necessarily want to be famous, right? You know, it's hard in a creative space like music, being a DJ, whatever the case may be. It's hard to accomplish that unless you're like a mass DJ or, you know, like whatever the case may be, you know, just someone who hides your identity. The Weeknd did it when he first came out. I don't know if y'all remember that, but The Weeknd, he didn't take any interviews, he didn't do any music videos and stuff like that. He was just dropping music, you know, before anybody knew exactly what he looked like. There's moments where you can do stuff like that, but it's very rare, right? You know, like it's typically like business people, like even some of the like wealthiest people in the world, like the wealthiest Black people in America. Most people don't know who those people are, right? You know, Robert F. Smith. Most people probably don't know who Robert F. Smith is. Like, I mean, if we're being honest, Robert F. Smith could go and do whatever he wants to do and go shop wherever he wants to shop. And ain't nobody running up to him. And he's worth way more than Chris Brown, right? You know, so I think it's just, you know, it's different strokes for different folks, you know. So
Right.
I don't know, like it's just it's hard to say because it's just like I know you're taking on like unnecessary stress, but you also chose that, right? You know, like you knew that like this is ultimately like what comes, because to your
I mean,
point,
sometimes you don't
every-
know though. Sometimes you don't know because at the end of the day, like, because where we want to get to, we don't know. We want to get there. We don't know how it's gonna be like if we got a private jet. We don't know yet. If the people around us, not for real though. We don't know if those people around us, like our family, gonna be real with us because they love us or because the things that we have. We don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we don't know, you know, because it's the future. We don't know how things are gonna be like. We don't know if our friends are gonna switch up on us, you know, now that we're successful. We don't know that yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like hard because we don't know. That's what we're trying to get there, right? You know, like let's say if we know for sure, let's say if we know if we reach to this level, right, we're gonna lose all the family people around us. I was saying I don't want that. I'm not trying. I'm okay with where I'm at, but we don't know for sure. That uncertainty is kind of like what is driving us too. So sometimes, I
like that point, DG, because I'm sure that there's some people that in their mind while they was building, they didn't think they was losing all that shit. They just thought they were getting that. You know what I'm saying? And the trade-off is now they've been on tour for 10 years and ain't talked to none of those people.
Right.
And now those people is feeling away. You know what I'm saying? You ain't talking, and they try to just come back and it's just like it's all good. And they like, only thing I can get from you now is money. I don't really want to kick it. Like we ain't kicked it in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like it's an interesting trade-off. It's always a trade-off. It's just a trade-off. I think it's I'm not saying either side is necessarily right. It's just a trade-off. You know what I'm saying? And but you don't know. I just did like the point that you said, DG, is that you don't know what's on the other side fully. You know what I mean? I never walked into a place and, you know, people was like just knew how Googling my net worth and trying to, you know what I'm saying, get the niggas out back to set me. You know, I never did. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I never did. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to walk into a room and you know, people kind of tapping and pointing and he got it. You know?
I mean, I agree. Like DG, you make a very valid point, but I think we'd be naive to think that we don't know like an idea of what that looks like, right? We've seen it, like maybe not with any of our own personal people that we know, right? But like, I think you know that any level of success, and I mean, people who have achieved those things that we probably want have said those, have shared their stories, and like, I think we'd be naive to think that like, oh, well, I'm going to be the sole person in this universe where everything's going to be different, right? Like I can have it all. I can have the money. I can have my family, my friends, all that stuff. I think we'd be naive to think that like just nothing's ever going to change, right? You know, I think that like, I think we've even seen it in our own lives to date now, right? You know, like I've lost some friendships to like, not even necessarily lost, but like grown distant with like certain friends, you know, right? And whatnot. And now, granted, I don't know what it's like to be like when my net worth is like $2 billion. And then to your point, everyone's Googling like, oh, this motherfucker worth $2 billion. So you're like, yo, we finna jump his ass once he leaves his bar, right? You know, like you don't know.
Who's in the back sending their best girl out to you? You just think it's your daddy the whole time she's connected to.
But I mean, like, it's just like, you know, I think that's why you have to just move a very particular, and that's the reason why I say, and I say this all the time, right? I don't think money changes people. It changes the people around you. And I genuinely believe that so much. Like I don't think any of us three are gonna change with more money in our pockets. You know, right?
I'm gonna disagree, bro. I'm gonna disagree.
Okay, like I mean,
it's a circle. It's a circle. It's a circle.
I mean, the core of who we are.
The core, I feel like, stays the same. But I think where people miss out on that statement there is that it doesn't change you. It does, but it's because people around you change. Then you have to change.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like a circle. You are going to change, but the reason is because they change first.
Absolutely.
Have to.
Like, money changes the people around you, which in turn does change you.
Exactly.
Like, at that point, you can't trust anybody anymore. It's just like, man, everybody wants something from me, right? You know, like even Kendrick talked about it, right? His own cousin sued him because he thought he was entitled to his money because he was his cousin. And I'm just like,
I need that.
I want that.
And all I'm saying is, we all know, like I know we all know deep down in our hearts, we know that probably that one cousin who would do some shit like that in our lives, right? You know, so like all I'm saying is like I can't be naive to think that like that wouldn't happen to me, because I know it very well could, you know, right? Is all I'm saying. Like, it's just, you know, to each his own. Like, you got to pick like really like what it is that you want, because like success doesn't come with any sacrifice, or without any sacrifice. I mean, is what I'm trying to say. You know,
and that's kind of and that's kind of going back to Ramon's question, right? Because sometimes you never know, you might reach to a certain level. Too much success might be a detriment to you. You know, you know, like you see that too, right? When you see like young celebrities and stuff, when they get money, like they start doing things that self-destruct. And they like they wouldn't have done that if they didn't reach that certain level of wealth. And also when it comes to being depression too, sometimes people can't handle that, like knowing what to do. So I think just like, I don't know, that's what I'm saying, it's hard. That's why I think there is a possibility that too much could be more, you know, especially if you're not in the right mindset. You know, you don't have the right people around you, bro. Like imagine, let's be honest, like, I'll say because like imagine if we were like 20 years old and we were rich and famous, bro. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I don't know at 21 what I would do right now, you know what I'm saying, at that time.
I do know. I would
have been fucking around. I would have been fucking around. I know that's what I would have been.
Yeah, I'm saying. So in that context, it would have been worse for us. You know, that success would have been bad, because we never know, bro. I don't know what I would have done. You know, because sometimes I feel like with money and fame, you just feel like you're entitled to everything. You know, especially being young and you think you're the man. So I don't know at that young age if that's, I don't know. So
I even say it's hard sometimes for like a young man or just person to respect older people when they make so much more money than them. And you see that with like, if like a young pop star pops and then they got older people that's like managing them and stuff, and they talking to him crazy, like that's a grown ass man you talking to like that. Like he is 40, he's 42 years old. Like you talking to him crazy. Just because you got money, right? Like so like I said, it's easy now. Like now I know, like if I look back, I know the 18-year-old me should not have had $20 million. But the 18-year-old me wanted $20 million.
I agree.
You know, so if I had got a $20 million deal at 18, I can't say it would have been great.
Yeah.
Maybe I, you know, turned the switch and it got good. You know, maybe it didn't. You know what I mean? But I would never really know. But it's just interesting, right? It's interesting, man. It's interesting.
But I think I feel like sometimes too, like, you know, the fact that a lot of people want more, you know, it can be a detriment too. Because I think sometimes people, like, you know, the core relationship in their life, people like ruin that in the pursuit of like, I want more. It's good and good enough, right? And I feel like that's going to become a detriment, become a problem. Because at the end of the day, you want more, so you're willing to like compromise, you know, your relationship with your kids, your family. Because now I'm a CEO. So like before, I used to go to all my kids' soccer game and all those things, right? But now I'm like, I got so much on my plate. I'm sorry, little Johnny, you got a beautiful home, you got a nice car, I can do all that for you. But what if my son just want my time, you know, at the game, because he see all his little friends, you know, I feel like sometimes like, as a parent, right, we think, oh, we provide and we're doing everything. But that person, like, bro, Dad, I just want your time. I know you're the biggest DJ in town, but like, I don't care about that. I just want you to go to my soccer game. And I feel like sometimes when we have a lot on our plate, it reached to that point that, you know, the people around us like start to like suffer a little bit because we don't have the time to spend with them too. So that's kind of when I think about it, like, damn, sometimes it can be a lot to manage.
Yeah. And there's a quote that I started living by probably like a couple of years ago now. And it's just, you're not going to be able to make everything, but certain things you can't miss.
Correct.
I let that sit with me on certain things. If I'm making a decision on if I can make it or not, some things you just can't make it. It's just, you know, the circumstances, it just is what it is. You're not gonna make everything, but there's certain things you can't miss, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you said, if it's your son's soccer game, if you got one, I think that, you know, if you miss a game or two, that's not the worst thing. But if it's like, you know what I mean, like the senior game and they're going to honor him for the school, and hey, man, I might got to put the meetings on hold today. I got to do this one. I got to beat it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think there's certain things that you can't miss them all. I think that's where you really, you know what I mean? You're not going to make it all. And I think that at some point, you know, most kids are probably going to understand, like, he was trying to I appreciate the hustle. But you can't miss them all, though. You know what I mean? In certain things, it's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, so.
And what else? Because I was on my niece sweet 16, bro, and she was just like, giving shout out to everyone around her. And one thing she gives shout out to her mom. She like every track meet, every game that I ever had that I could remember, my mom showed up for everything. I was like, damn, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the fact that
Mhm.
she like every game that she ever had, every event,
Yeah.
my mom was always there to support her. I was like, damn, that's dope. And I was just
Mhm.
thinking, like, imagine if she, like, like at this certain level, yeah, the money is cool, all the little things it's important, but like, I feel like sometimes kids and people around you, they just want certain things from you. Like, I don't care, daddy, if you're the CFO. Like, I just want you to like be able to like spend this little time with me. This is important to me. And I feel like sometimes when it comes to success, like the busier we get, our time is like we have limited time for a lot of things. Because at the end of the day, you want to blow your son, you're like, I gotta do this report. I don't got time for that, At the end of the day, now it's like we just so fixated on our goal. We're trying to get better. We're trying to progress in life. And then at the end of the day, just we are achieving more. Now the people around us are like suffering, like little things. Yeah, we might not notice that, but just for me, when I think about it now, as I'm pursuing those things, like kind of like what Ramon said, I think I'm gonna create like a non-negotiable for me. There are certain things I'm not willing to like compromise for like the money, I need to have I think there has to be a boundary of things.
Yeah.
Like, like I gotta like do these things. I'm not willing to do that in that pursuit of like financial success or whatever success that we're trying to achieve.
Mhm. I'm on that side of like there has to be some boundary that you put up, or just some type of like I can't compromise on certain things. You know what I'm saying? I think we're all like that. But I think we may be even speaking for a type of person that has no, you know what I mean? Like that you so fixated on the thing, and maybe that maybe you become the goat at it, but
Right.
you sometimes can still miss out on some shit that you
Right.
can't get back later. If you focused on just if you focused on being the greatest from the time that you was like 5 to the time that you was 50, and you did it, but you just never made time for anybody, man, that could really be a lonely life, man. The truth of it, none of us deal with that because we make time for people. You know what I'm saying? We make honest time. They might not get all of it that they want from us, but we make some time. You know what I'm saying? But then there's certain things that we might have tried that we'll never be the greatest at because we didn't give that amount of time to it.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody has to make the decision on what you want your life to look like. Me and Z talked about this concept a lot recently. We are architecting our own experience right now. Like we can't just be letting life happen to us. Like we're designing this shit. We're you know what I mean? Like we need to be in control of however we're moving in this shit. And that looks different for everybody else. So we can't always give somebody the answer. But if you want to be the greatest and you want to cut off everything, know that you might get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's gonna be things in life that you sacrifice for that. You know what I mean? And just being be in tune with that.
And that's bar, bro, because this page that I follow on Reddit, it's called Road to 10 Mil. You're just talking about people who are trying to get to 10 mil. And I read a post, I think like a month ago, a week ago, whatever, a couple of weeks ago. And this guy, he's 50 years old. I think he's worth about 10 mil. And then he was just talking about his experience. He was like, yeah, my 20s and 30s, like now I'm 50, I regretted like just focusing on financial wealth and not being able to travel more, not be able to like date more, not be able to like do things. He said, like, now I'm 50 years old. I wish I had like 1 mil and back in my 20s. He was like, I never get to travel. I never really got to date and experience anything. I was just like so fixated on building wealth. And now I'm here like with 10 mils, like, my babe. And then now I'm here with like 10 mils. It doesn't really do anything for me. I wasted my 20s, I wasted my 30s, my youth, chasing all day. So his advice was like just with young people who are like in pursuit of like pursue these things, but make sure for like have fun along the way. Don't just be so fixated on like, because at the end of the day, yeah, the money is cool, but if you just like neglect all your friends and neglect all the relationships that you're building, and then you're gonna be at 50 years old and lonely and not have experience. Because some of the things I wish I did, I'd never done them before. I never like traveling. I was like, damn, that's a good perspective just to have. I remember someone who's like 50 years old, like with 10 mil. And talking about if he would have done, if he could go back and do things differently, he would probably like have fun more in his 20s and 30s, enjoy life, and then reach to a certain stable financial health instead of like trying to like focus and get all this money. And now he's like, he's older and then he can do the things because you look different, bro. Being a 50-year-old dude trying to go to the club.
Right, man.
A lot.
We didn't all seen that dude, man.
You look like a weirdo.
He's willing to give up $9 million to give some time back, but that's the one thing you can't get it back. You can't get it back, man.
Bro.
That's why, man. I want to shout out to you, brothers, man. And like I said, I never try to take myself out of it, myself as well. We live a balance, like we chase the things that we want, but we still are enjoying these years, brother. We will not have these years forever. We lock in more than probably the average human. Right. We have a lot of fun too. You know what I'm saying? That's not negotiable. You know, that part's not negotiable, man. I'm never gonna look back with that thought. Like I never did anything. No, I didn't do some shit. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's been my approach to fitness, bro. Like my entire, how some people like they don't eat a certain thing, they gotta wait for a certain day, bro. Like I never had that. I just watch what I eat, but I would like if I want to eat fucking ice cream today, I'm gonna eat ice cream. I'm not gonna wait till Sunday, bro, because I don't know if I want to make it to Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna get a little bit. I'm not just gonna go overindulge. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have that because I think life should be free, bro. Free will to just be able to do things I want to do. And I feel like sometimes I have even in the fitness industry, I have problem with people who are just too like fixated on now. Like, bro, I get it, but you can still get to where you want to be and still have a little bit of leeway. It doesn't always have to be this way. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the same mindset I'm trying to do when it comes to like financial wealth, bro. Like I can still have fun and travel and still like do these things I want to do. I don't have to just save all my money and just stay in my basement all day and lock the window because outside costs money going out, bro. That's not life right there, So I just want to share that from that story that I read about the older guy talking about wealth. So
no, I think that's bars. I mean, at the end of the day, I think what we're all acknowledging is that extremes on any level are that's not what life is about. Life isn't about extreme discipline, right? Like don't get me wrong, you should be disciplined, right? But like extreme discipline to your point where it's just like I'm only going to have ice cream one day out of 365 days, right? That's extreme discipline. I'm not saying like teach his own, right? Like if that's what you want to do,
right?
I think any type of extremes is typically never a good thing, right? Like I think everything is fine in moderation. Everything like there's a little bit of room for everything. There's a little bit of room of being able to grow, being able to explore, being able to date, right? Being able to, take care of yourself. Self-care is important, right? Like there's room to make it all fit. Now, granted, it may not all fit at the same amount at the right time, right? But there's always like trying to figure out like, okay, like I said, balance is something that we may not attain in the long term, but we're always in the pursuit of it, right? I'm always making sure that like there's checks and balances, right? I'm always making sure that like, all right, I'm giving my goals enough effort, but I'm also like tending to the relationships in my life. I'm also making sure that I should probably be eating better, all these things. Like these are all things that you're like tending to and trying to figure out like, okay, how does this all fit into my life? And to the point of what we talked about, what are the non-negotiables and where do I have some leeway, right? Like you have to give yourself some kind of grace. And I think that's really like just what we're all mentioning, right? Extremes isn't important or extremes are unnecessary,
right?
But giving yourself grace is very necessary, right?
Right.
But at the same time, stay focused.
Stay focused, man.
It's still like this season because, but like I love what he's saying because the extremes on either side. Don't go to the club every day either. Don't eat ice cream every day either. Like it's not the move. You know what I'm saying? It's not the move, man. But yeah, man. We all architecting this thing the way that we want to, man. So
But to the point of what you said, like in the on the path to success, or like what we deem as success, right? I think it's probably lock-in season. That's probably the thing that you're focused on more probably than other things, right? That's because it requires more of your attention, right? That's what I'm saying. Like balance is never really attainable in the long term. Like it's something that like we're always trying to figure out, but like you're never going to be completely imbalanced. Like I said, there's always going to be something. But when you get to that level of success, like let's say maybe it might be a dollar figure, right? Like, you know, like I've hit 5 million. So I know that like I don't have to work anymore or do anything. Now I'm not saying that I'm not going to do anything. I just know
Right.
that I don't have to work. Like I don't have to work a day job. I don't have to do none of that.
Right.
I can truly commit to like now I can focus more so on this particular business. Now I can focus on remote escapes more.
Right.
Now I can focus on, you know, building my relationship with my woman, you know, like, or even more. So, you know, right. Like we've been building this whole time, but like she definitely sacrificed or like was okay with like me giving a little bit less. Now let me give her a little bit more now that I know that I have that time, right? You know, let's have kids, you know, right? That's something she's always, those are things that it's just like, you know, I think we're always trying to figure out, and no one's perfect is all I'm saying. Like, you know, but like we're all striving for it at the end of the day, you know, like, but definitely like when we're in that mode to success, it's locking season, like period.
Right.
That's a non-negotiable. Is this locking
Right.
season?
No,
What do
but
y'all- my bad.
go ahead.
I was gonna ask, what percentage do y'all think we usually are lock in versus kick it? What
Bro, to
percentage
be-
wise?
I mean-
I mean, each of y'all.
Damn. To be honest, bro, I would say locked in is like, I'll say like 80%, bro. Lately, I've been kicking it. I ain't gonna lie, because I've been making time. Like, I never used to watch movies a lot on the weekends. Lately, I've been actually enjoying the weekends, bro. And it's fun. Like, I was like, oh shit, I can still achieve my goals and enjoy life too. I don't always have to be like reading books on the weekends. Like, I can still get there and still have fun. But during the weekdays, I just gotta make sure that I'm on my grind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like I just gotta make sure I do the things that I gotta do. Because if I do these things, I can still make time. But one thing I noticed for me per se, though, most people I would say, time management, bro. Once you can manage your time, you realize that you can actually have time to play video games if you like video games.
Right.
Because I know some people who are successful as hell and they play video games. I'm like, how? They just like when it's time for grind, they just locked in and get that work done. After that, okay, they get this leisure and do other things. So like I can do that too. I can focus and make time for these things that I want to do, bro. Even like when it comes to relationship too. At one point, I believe that you can't be in a relationship and achieve your goal. I believe, you know, I was like women, you know, they're gonna make it hard for you to achieve your goal. It's a certain level, the wrong woman. But if you look at all these other successful entrepreneurs and businessmen, they were all married.
Most of
So
them.
like Barack was married to Michelle, you know what I'm saying? Elon, like Jeff, all these people. So in the day, I believe as a person, sometimes, bro, some things that hold us back is our lack of time management.
Mhm.
You know, because in the day we can prioritize our time and make time. Bro, imagine like on the weekends, right? If you're someone who love movies, if you can wake up on Saturday, like today, 5 hours, no focus, I'm just gonna work on my task. But you have all day to watch movie and do whatever. 5 hours a day, that's a lot of time you can get work done. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So but most people, we don't have that discipline and time management to like structure our day in order to do those things. That's the reason why we struggle, because we procrastinate a lot. And during the day, we only have 2 hours now. Like shit, let me study. You know what I'm saying? But if we are planning our time accordingly, bro, I'm sure we could like work out, cook, and do shit that we like and still get work done. You know, and that's what I'm trying to do lately, bro. I'm trying to like understand that it's not all about like, oh, I can still lock in and be, you know, and still have fun, still have a little bit of balance. But I would say for me, it's more like 80% locked in and like 20% like balance and leisure
That's
lately.
fire. That's fire, bro. I love that answer. That's
Right.
right.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
You
That boy
guys
on it. I was gonna say, like, you know, I'm a solid like 74% locked in, 26% leisure. You know, I think that's like a solid, that's a
Yeah.
solid balance, you know, right? Like it's a I think it's definitely locked in season. Like that's like without a we was just talking about this last night, you know, right? Like I think just even more recently with a lot of things that have transpired with now being in New York and moving to Phoenix and like, you know, like you in Denver, like still been like locked into a degree and still like, you know, having some leisure time and all that stuff. But I'm looking forward to being back in Phoenix tomorrow, you know, right? Like cause I'm like I'm ready to like it's lock-in season. Like it truly is. Like I feel like since I've moved to Phoenix, like there's been a lot of like just getting settled and like trying to figure things out. And my mom was there and I truly enjoyed that time with my mom. Like shout out to Mom Dukes, man. I love that woman, you know, like and I appreciate everything about her, you know, and everything that she's done for me, you know, right? But it's just like shit, now that like all that is like, you know, now I'm here and like I can truly just focus on like just being in the space and finding my routine, you know, like to your point, DG, like figuring out like what like my time management looks like, all that stuff, like free or architecting, you know, what my life is going to look like, you know, like it's lock-in season, you know, right? But don't get me wrong, you got to have moments for grace, like give yourself, like go out, enjoy yourself, you know, right? Like take the opportunity to connect with people, you know, and it can't just be like lock-in season all the time, you know, like if you have your head down too long, you find yourself like looking up and all this time, all these opportunities pass you by. And then it's just like, you know, I don't think, I can't speak for y'all both, but like, I would assume all three of us, but I know I can speak for myself specifically. I don't regret a lot of things in my life, right? You know, I feel like, and the reason that is because I feel like I do at least try to like give a lot of things and a lot of people in my life effort, like some attention, you know, like maybe not all the attention that they deserve or those things deserve, but I always try to like, I'm trying to like figure out what that looks like, right? You know, like, and I think that's the reason why you don't necessarily like live in regret. I feel like people who focus too much on one particular thing, like you said, the dude who was like 50 years old and he just had his head down the whole time. He was like, man, I'm just grinding, financial freedom. That's all I want. Success. $10 million. Boom. That's all I want. Before you know it, you look up, you're 50 years old, and it's just like, damn, there's a lot of shit that I passed up over that time, right? You know, like I probably didn't build a steady relationship, like personally, like I should say, like a intimate relationship. You know, maybe don't have kids. You know, like maybe that's something he did or didn't want, right? You know, like maybe there was a lot of moments where you can't party at 50 like you could at 32, right? You know, like there's plenty of moments. It's just those natural things, like where you just understand, like, look, man, I may not have it all, but I'm very happy with what I got. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't strive for more, but I think I say all that to say, you know, right? Like I don't think that's I think that's a big reason why we don't live in regret or like why we are happy, you know, right? Like because to your point, DG, of what you were mentioning earlier, I think content and complacent are two completely different things. I think you can be content and still be like striving for more. I think like complacent is what scares me, where it's just like complacent is just like that's stagnancy, like you know, like that's what complacency is. It's just like there is, to your point, what you said, Ramon, earlier, there's no motion, right? There's the scale isn't moving up or down. It's nothing, right? Like, and that's what scares me, you know, more than anything. But there's nothing wrong with being content in life, but still just knowing that there's more out there for you and that you're striving for. So,
yeah, that's a bar. And also, bro, like just lately, my overall view of locked-in season is just like I just look at this as a lifestyle for me. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, that's how it look like. I know this is gonna be,
like in life.
No, for real, it's gonna be a lifestyle for me. I just know like where I want to get to. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. I have no choice. So now that it's a way of life, I think my mindset have changed. It's kind of like with fitness, right? That's why I really never, you know, have a cheat day, because at the end of the day, if I go out to Z birthday, if I, you know, like have a cake, I know that next week I'm not having cake. It's a lifestyle. I'm gonna get back on track. You know, that's kind of like the same thing I'm looking at, you know, when it comes to my goals and grind. Yeah, if I don't study today, if I don't do the work today, I know tomorrow I'm going to get back on track. It's the lifestyle right now. I know that if I have money, if I buy something today, I'm going to like structure my financing. I'm not going to go out and blow my money every day to look fly, you know, because it's a lifestyle for me now, long-term wealth, you know, stability. You know what I'm saying? So now that it's a lifestyle now, it doesn't seem like a burden to me to like get stuff done, because I know who I'm trying to become. That person got to live a certain way, you know, and I feel like by doing it that way, it's a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? So I don't stress over, bro. If I miss one day of working out, I'm not going to be mad at myself and beat myself down, because I know I'm not going to miss a week of not working out. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I have built this lifestyle that's going to sustain me forever. And that's the same thing when it comes to my goals, bro. Some days when I'm like, I feel like I'm distracted, like tomorrow, I know I'm going to get back on track tomorrow. And I do get back on track. And the next day, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing things that's going to like help elevate me to get to that next level, because I know that this is a marathon, bro. It's not a sprint. So I feel like with that mindset now, it's giving me more flexibility to do things that I want to do and, you know, have a little bit of freedom and not have complete structure. But at the same time, I do have structure because I'm pursuing these things. But if stuff change, I'm not going to be mad at myself. You know what I'm saying? Like during the process, I'm working hard because I can take a vacation. I'm not just gonna work hard and just save, 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 save. Instead of like me saving 80%, I can still save 60% and use 20% to have fun. I'm still making progress. I'm still growing. Instead of like saving everything, just stay home all day and close the door and not go out. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like my mindset lately as I'm getting older, bro, like at the end of the day has changed a lot in regards to like what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to get to.
It's just a beautiful thing, man. Hey, the growth is a beautiful thing, man. To the people that are like locked in every day, I do think you should take a little bit of time to even just, sometimes you got to schedule. I've gotten moments where I've like was locked in so hard that I had to schedule some things like, hey, go on some dates.
Right.
Hey, have a fun, have a day where you don't have anything planned today and just go downtown. I do that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But for the other side that just party every time, schedule some lock-in shit too.
That's terrible.
That's
That's being irresponsible.
Yeah, for real.
You're not gonna be young forever too. The same thing. You're not gonna be young forever. If you're just party right now, you're gonna get old at 1.2, and you're gonna be that 50-year-old guy. And you're like, God damn, I wish I had a little stability.
At least I could kick it, huh? Like, damn, I can't even kick it, man. I have to work at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a choice. I gotta be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man. Because I don't know, bro. For me, I'm just trying to like create a healthy and sustainable like lifestyle for me. Other people, other people have like, we're all different. What works for you, cool. If you prefer locked in every day, 365 days a year, and be on your computer, good for you. It works for you. But for me, I'd rather enjoy other aspect of my life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, bro, like just go hang out with my nieces like 20 minutes out of my day. I enjoy that part. I could be working, but those little things for me, I noticed lately brings me joy. So, you know, like I'm taking time out, bro, to like enjoy life a little bit. Because at the end of the day, God forbid something happens tomorrow on my deathbed, if I'm sick, bro, I'm not gonna think about my stocks. That's gonna be the last thing on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be thinking about like the quality time that I have with my mom, my brothers, my friends. I'm gonna be thinking about like how much money, like, because what are you gonna do with the money? It's not gonna save you, bro. So at the end of the day, like, we want financial freedom, want to do these things, but at the end of the day, there has to be some things that we are so firm on that we don't like deviate from, you know, like our family, our relationship, especially if you have good relationship. I'm not talking about if you got some like bullshit friends around and people around you that F them, right? But I'm talking about if you have like solid people around you, bro. Like with our friends group, bro, like we're still grinding, but we still make time for each other. Like you're here in Denver, Vermont. You came out here, we chill a little bit, but we talk about things, you know, to elevate our lives. We still have we did, you know what I'm saying? So you can always find those people around that you can do things together. You know, like when we travel, we have a great time. Like I remember when I was in Phoenix for my birthday, like a couple of years ago, it was a blast. It was a good time. We talk about investment, little things. We still had a good time. So you do both. You can lock in and still have fun. And that's kind of like for me, and that's what I'm trying to get to.
Man, shout out to y'all real quick. Real quick though, I just got to shout out to y'all real quick because a lot of people don't have friends that could do both with.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's dope, man. Like I have a genuine good time with y'all, but then I genuinely lock in and learn shit with y'all.
Right.
Too. So, shout out to y'all, brother. Shout out to my circle, man, and everybody around me right now, man. Because not everybody got that, man, and that's a beautiful thing.
That's a rare thing. That's literally, you stole the words out of my mouth. I was about to say you gotta find your well-rounded friends where you can do all of it together, right? You know, like I said, y'all are the Swiss Army knives, man. Like it's like we can do a little bit of everything together, right?
Only pop cool shit, fly shit, rich shit, everything.
Like, nerd shit. It's a beautiful thing, man. You know, there's certain people in your lives where you can do one or the other, or just like one, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? You know, but like when you do find yourself in that like very rare particular pocket where it's just like y'all really just like in sync, and it's just like regardless of what it is that we doing, because I'm gonna tell y'all, we be having a good time. Like facts, if there's something that's gonna be had, it's a good time. Is it? That is it. But that doesn't mean that we can't lock in and learn and all those things along the way. But man, you gotta turn up and have fun, man. Like you gotta be able to do that. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to y'all, man, because you know we're very complementary, you know, I think to like
Right.
to each other, and just understanding what it is that we want and what we contribute to each other's lives, and ultimately like it just helps us. I think just lock in even more, you know, right? Like there's moments of like where we gonna work hard and play hard. We gonna do both,
Right.
right? You know,
Right.
but I think in those moments of working hard and playing hard, we compel each other to like do it to an even higher level, because you know it's always better to do something with like really solid people around you, you know, than doing it by yourself, you know, right? Like, period.
That's a fact.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we're getting close to that time, huh?
Yep, I think we got a good moment right now. Z, you got a would you rather for us today, or we gonna keep it
Yeah,
light?
man. Yeah, man. No, we definitely gonna hit them with a would you rather. We're gonna bust y'all over the head, man. Maybe not, you know, but we gonna try. So this is the Spot Network, man. You know what we do? We put y'all on the spot, man. Each and every episode, we're gonna ask you a this or that type of question to really see what side you are on. Hopefully it's controversial. Hopefully it sparks some debate, man. But really, we're just here to conversate and have a good time. So that being said, today's episode being Enough is Enough, the question is, would you rather always be chasing your dreams or achieve them, but lose all the determination and fire that comes along with it? So I'm gonna ask that question again. Would you rather always be chasing your dreams, but never achieve them, or achieve them, but lose all the desire, the dedication, and fire that comes along with it?
Damn. Okay. That's hard, bro.
That's a good one, bro.
Chasing your dreams. So let's say my dreams were to become like worth like 20 mil. I would never reach that amount.
You'll never reach that goal. No.
But can I get a little bit higher than that?
No. You can never surpass it. You might achieve something along the way. You know, you might be in pursuit of 20 million and maybe only reach 2 million, but you never know, right? Like you don't know exactly what you're going to achieve. You just know that you're just never going to achieve.
Never going to get there.
You're never going to get there.
I know, but sometimes you can't get to where you want to be though. But the fact that you're pursuing it, you're gonna make tremendous progress. That's why I'm looking. Am I making progress too while I'm like in the pursuit of that goal? Let's say my goal is to like, you know, win a Grammy, but I didn't win a Grammy, but like I want like to came out a great album, you know, a lot of sales. So that's what I'm saying with that. Is I want to like understand the question a little bit more.
Yeah,
is that level?
What kind of progress are we making? Do we stay at level 0? Or
that's what I want to know.
No. Right. You're making progress. You just don't know what the progress is, right? Because I mean, that's the whole idea of it. Is like when you're in pursuit of something, especially when something's great, right? You don't know if you're actually going to get there. You know, like if your goal is to build an amazing like company that eventually IPOs, it's traded on the stock market, you know, valued at $7 billion, whatever the case may be. You know, you're never going to achieve that goal, but you don't know how close. You don't know how close you're going to come to it either, though.
OpenAI,
right? You just don't know. Like you just know that you're just never going to get there. That's the only thing you know, is like you're just never going to get there. But you just know that like you can try. That's really it. You can try.
I would think that then. I would probably just because I feel like, imagine like my goal is to like go public, right? And then I turn out to be like OpenAI. I'm so a private company, but I'm worth close to $1 trillion.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, bro. I would probably be pursuing. Yeah, I would still be pursuing.
I'm with DG too, man.
Because it's easier now. That's what I'm saying. Because now it's easier though, Z. Because if you make it that way, we're still making. I think it has to be 0 days hard, right? Because if we're still making progress, because I was like, damn, I'm gonna take that then. Because I'm still getting better.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not just there. It's like I want to be fluent in Spanish, but I'm not there. But I can have an okay conversation. Like, hola.
And you can still have the fire to keep learning.
Right now, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think the fire part, taking it out for me. I heard y'all probably heard it too, where Will Smith was talking about like everybody talks about rock bottom, but nobody talks about cliff top. And it's where you did everything that you could think of. You had all the sex, you got all the money, you got all the accolades, and you don't know what's next. And that's what when you're saying that reach your thing and have no fire. I imagine getting there, just getting to a point where I have no fire for anything. I think having access to everything and getting to that point is scary. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I think that like you almost you got to refine something to live for. You have no fire for anything anymore.
Right.
To me, you know what I mean? I don't think that's where I
Yeah.
want to be. So I think
Yeah.
that I want to have some chasing me at all times and be always. You could bet that when somebody talks to Diamond, Zenus, or Ramon, that we're up to something at all
Right.
times.
Right.
Imagine just getting to that point. Imagine if we reached them quick too. Reached them at
Right.
like 37, and then
Right.
like shit. Every time I talk to you, what's up, Z? What you got going on? Nothing. I ain't nothing.
You be talking about shit you did in first grade.
I did it. I mean, I accomplished all this stuff. Oh, what you up to now? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I had to
hilarious.
I had to get. I got to keep the fire. I'm
gonna tell my manager that. What are you gonna work on this? But I ain't doing nothing.
Shit, nice.
That shit's hilarious. Yeah, because I believe in the pursuit you can learn a lot, bro. Like, kind of like what we was talking about earlier. I might not be, imagine if I was trying to learn different languages. I'm just like, I might not be fluent in them, but I can go to Germany and have a decent, like an okay conversation.
Yeah.
Be able to navigate and fit in the culture, go to Rwanda, whatever languages speak out there too, and know all those things, bro. So I'll take that.
And just my last point on it to my answer too is most people lose the fire without reaching it.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I would never want to lose that fire, bro.
Right. Most people do. Most people got no fire, bro. Yeah. I mean, that's true though. That's most people's life. No, there's no fire.
And lose a fire for the thing and never reached it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's most people. More people than not. So, where you at with the Z? Where you at? What side you on, man?
I don't know, man. I'm torn. I really am. Like honestly, like because I do agree. Like the fire is like what compels me. Like I'm walking fire. Like right. Like I'm a walking radiator. Right. But I also like to your point though. Like most people, like you said, lose their fire getting there. Most people just never get there. Right. We talk about like what percentage of people actually fulfill their potential. In this particular example, like if I achieved all my wildest dreams, I fulfilled my potential. Now, granted, you can get there and lose the fire, but I think it's about like, I think we were talking about it with like certain like lifestyles, like an athlete, right? Like where if you train all your life, or like I should say like a quarter of your life for this one particular thing and it doesn't pan out, where does your identity go from there, right? Where it's just like, damn, my whole being was surrounded by this thing, right? And now that that's no longer here, I don't know what to do with my life now, right? And I think that's an identity crisis that happens to a lot of people. Same thing with people who go into retirement, right? When you've worked for 40 years of your life, doing this one particular thing, and then all of a sudden you retire and you're not doing that anymore. What do you do? Like, right? Where do you find purpose? And so, I don't know. I think that example happens a lot of people, to your point, like not ever getting to that point, but losing their fire. But like, I think about it to like the people who have achieved everything. That's a very small group of people, right? That's a very small group of people in life, right? And so I'm not saying that like I would want to lose the fire, because I don't, right? But like if I achieved everything that I wanted to, especially like I'm thinking about like my wildest dreams, right? Like, like I may lose the fire, but I know like I don't think like I could ever die unhappy knowing that like I lost the fire, but like I did everything that I ever set out to do, right? Like I did the thing. I took care of my mom. I put her in everything that she wanted to do. I had an amazing family, and now I just like, maybe I'm like 60 years old, and I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily have purpose anymore, but like I'm content, right? Or maybe I'm complacent at that point. At that point, I might be complacent, right? Where it's just like there is stagnancy, like there's just nothing from there on. But I know that I just achieved everything that I ever wanted to, and that's something that no one could ever take from me, right? Like where it's just like, look, I did it all, right? Like
To
I don't
me,
know, man.
it depends on what. And like, I guess you never really know. To me, it depends on what age you do it. Right? If I lose, if you're gonna tell me I lose fire at 70, I'm taking that one. I hit all my goals and then I lose my fire at 70. Cool. But if I lose it at 36, you know what I mean?
We didn't set any boundaries, but the thing
Yeah.
is, like, you can just continue to have the fire forever, though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, right? So it's just like the thing is, we don't really know. I mean, maybe we should define it a little bit more, but like, I don't know, man. I think like I'm thinking like about like if I'm thinking about it from like my wildest dreams, I probably would have achieved everything that I wanted to by like 55, right? And then after that, like if I just like for the next however many, if I live to be like 85, the next 30 years of my life, I don't necessarily have that desire, or that passion, that fire that drives me
That's
anymore.
fair.
That's fair.
That's
Very fair.
fine. But like I achieved everything that like I ever wanted to, and that's just something that no one could ever take from me. And I think that's just like, you know, I sit and reflect on it a lot in life. It's just like fulfillment is just something that like I reflect on so much, man. Like just the ability to fulfill your potential, just like knowing that like we all have it, we all possess it, but most of us never achieve it, man. And it's just like I think the ability to achieve your wildest dreams and your potential at the highest level is rare, man. That's probably like 1% of people that walk this earth.
Less
You
than
know,
1%. I'll argue less than
Yeah.
1%.
And if I could do that,
Right.
then I might take that, man. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I might take it because we didn't define it, right? You know, like if I lose the passion at like 55,
Right.
hey,
See,
man,
you keep saying it later though, man. Does it change for you if you bring the age down? Like let's say you
hell yeah.
let's
Hell
say
yeah.
you yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like let's say you pick that one and then you just accomplish it all by December, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you just do it all real quick, bro.
Nah, that ain't fair, man. That ain't, you gotta give me a little time
That's
to
what I'm
enjoy
saying.
it.
Right.
It's-
But
it's-
still, but to his defense, that even that's still a good argument too. Even if you
Sure.
achieve it by 21,
I
like
love that.
that's still a
I
good.
love
Yeah,
that point, bro.
that's still a good
love it.
argument. Because at the end of the day, like, hey man, I'm 21. My goal is to become like worth 30 bill. I'm 30 bill. Everything I need. What's the point of working hard? I'm good.
I can take care.
you know,
I can take care
yeah.
of everyone that I want to.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want to. Like,
what's the
yeah,
point of
there
the fire?
might be
That's
that
good.
same. There may not be that same passion or fire for life, but it's just like, bro, I did it all, fam.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's
if
true.
we
That's
say-
a good thing, bro.
Do you lose passion and desire for everything though? Like that's kind of
No,
how I look.
I thought about it like just like you lose the desire and passion for just like pursuing your goals, like because like you no longer like you're not working towards something anymore. You
But
just
your
lose the
goals could
desire.
be like, you know, being a good father, and
I mean, you're just
like-
chilling. I mean, yeah, you're just chilling.
it could be, yeah, like it could be like I don't even care about being a good father. I don't care about being a good son.
Nah, that's different though. That's a non-negotiable, right? You know, like I
Right.
think
kind of,
you can
but not
settle-
everybody's a good father. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But I
that's
know
not
I would be.
non-negotiable.
Like,
But you see what I'm saying? That's not a, you know, it's not a non-negotiable because not everybody, you know what I mean? Like some people don't desire that, so they don't do it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I mean, yeah, but to Z point, I don't think really lose that passion. I think it's more like goals focus, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you just like I don't care about becoming like the next big thing anymore. I'm
Yeah.
okay with where I'm
Yeah.
at.
I think about it like Andre 3000, right? Like Andre 3000, he just lost the passion for music. Like now, granted, he does it in a different way, but like I'm thinking about it like the extreme of that, like right, like he achieved everything and then just like never did music again, right? Like
Just
was just
chilling.
like I just don't, I don't have the desire to do this shit anymore,
Yeah.
right? You know, like it's just like, and he never started another business after that, right? Like if he was just like
chilling,
I'm not an entrepreneur, I don't do none of that. I'm chilling, like you know,
Yeah,
right? I'm
that's
kicking it
fair.
with my family, you know. I'm just like I'm living my life at this point, right? Like, but I'm not necessarily doing anything else, right? You know,
Yeah,
I
just
don't
close-
work.
Yeah,
I don't
have to
make
fucking-
any. I don't make any more
That's
money,
true,
right?
Yeah,
But what do I
I'll
need to
wait
make
till
more money
whenever.
for? I'm worth $500 million, bro. Like, I don't need to make any more money. At this
Yeah,
point,
that's
you know,
true.
right? Like, so it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That's
I
fair.
achieved all my goals, and for let's say that like just to make it more realistic, let's say the goal for me is, I'd say like, is 45 realistic or 40?
I mean, anyone, bro. I would say it has to be whatever. Like 40 is fine.
Yeah. Even like, so let's say I'm 36. So in the next 4 years, if I just achieved all my wildest dreams, right? You know, like, yeah, man, like I may not have that fire anymore, but I these next 4 years would be cracking. Like cracking, bro. Like these next 4 years would be up, fam.
You make such a good point. I'm super torn, bro, because the hard part is after 40, you won't be you anymore. Right. Because part of the you is the fire. Like you said, you are fire.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I lose a piece of myself. I do. I do.
And that's like, but
it's a great question. It's a great question.
But not trying to be like, spiritual and all that. But at one point, we're gonna reach to that point in life, though. We're gonna lose that fire. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna naturally, life within itself is gonna happen naturally. We're gonna lose that fire at one point because we're not gonna be at discipline. Mostly a certain age, bro. Like right now, let's say if I'm worth like 50 mil, I don't think I'll be at discipline when it comes to finances, like starting to do all the bullshit I'm doing right now. I'll be honest. I don't think I'll be studying like what the fuck am I trying to build a financial model for, Ramon, when I'm worth like 100
fair. Very fair, man.
Fair, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to learn this shit for.
So I say all that to say I'm taking the ladder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You made a good argument.
Good point.
Either option, that's a good argument. So yeah. I just want to say that either option is solid. Yeah, I want to say you make a solid argument. So
yeah.
Because I mean, but I see why y'all like because
right.
I do agree with y'all in the sense that like it's not about the destination, right? It's about the pursuit of it that really does like.
Right.
Drive you and compel you. But I also think about that, like, if I just never achieved it, though, like, I'm not saying that, like, you have to be obsessed with the destination, right? Like, you're still making progress, right? But, like, in the latter example, I know I accomplished it, though. Like, I know whatever I set out to do, I did that shit, right? And that's, I don't know, man. That's, like I said, that's a very small percentage of people on this planet who do that. And
right.
And that's the type of company I'd want to be in.
Yeah, it's true. Because if you think about it, let's say if your goal is to have a kid, you can never have a kid. You just get these bitches pregnant, and then they just have all miscarriages.
You just keep trying. You just keep trying.
That's crazy.
I'm still picking that one.
That's crazy.
That sounds fun. Nah, I'm playing.
It was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn.
Got 3 kids.
Oh man.
Oh, bro. Damn, all right.
Damn, you dumb as hell, bro. Yeah, man. But that was a good one, Z. That was a great question. I can see it going either way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. That was a great question, great answers, man. Great breakdowns, great episode, man. I feel recharged after this one, man. It's a good one.
Yeah, I feel recharged, man. But to say all that to say, man, enough is never enough, man. We still gonna keep striving for more, man.
Right.
But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who tapped in, and man, this is one that these are the types of questions where I really hope people tap in, man. Like because I'd really love to hear people's perspectives on like what they would go with. Just because
I know it's just
we need
it. If you asking the question, we need this one out there,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's one really to get the people thinking, man. Like so. I don't know, man. Shout out to everybody who tapped in, man. This is the Spot Network. Amazing episode. To your point, P, I definitely feel recharged. I feel good. Ready to take on the week, man, and that's the whole idea of these conversations. But yeah, man, we're the Spot Network. That's Ramon. That's DG Diamond. I'm Zenas, man. Be sure to tap in with us next Monday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. I'm gonna say that again: like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the above, and then a little bit more and then some if you want to, right? But we appreciate everybody who tapped in, man. Like I said, we'll be back next week, but man. Until then, continue manifesting and staying blessed, man. We out here. And it's locking season, baby. Don't forget that.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Yes,
sir. Locked in.
All right, y'all.
Later.